This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I'm here at the offices of Softwear. 2015. Basically, this is a brand new startup who is building a brand built by developers for developers. I'm here with Nathan. Nathan, share with me a little bit. Let's start off a little bit about yourself. We're talking about the industry of programmers. Is this an industry that you came from? And more importantly, how did this idea get started for you?
Absolutely. So I am a developer by trade, moving into being an entrepreneur at this point. So it's an industry that I know very well. And I actually, as a developer, worked for a manufacturing company which manufactures some of the products that you see here. And so basically I have some, experience with this segment of the industry. Just working throughout the years at all these different companies, all these different contracts, there's a lot of cliches and so forth, that come up just from the industry. And so I haven't really seen a prominent outlet for developers, something that really combines jazzy, designy sort of motif for developers. And so having worked at the manufacturing company, been a developer myself and seen all this, I decided, why not? Let's create a brand.
Easy fit. I mean, quite honestly, there's probably a perception out there that the public has of developers, of programmers, call them geeks, if you will. It's a lot of what the public thinks about. Is this really the target group that you go after primarily?
This is, and that perception is absolutely something that I want to try and tackle with this company and this idea is, a lot of the stuff out there for programmers today is just really bland. And so some of the, if not a lot of what you see is just plain text printed on a t-shirt. Whereas if you walk into Express or you go on to, affliction.com, you see these really edgy graphic tees. And that's what's really drawing people's attention, from the design world today. So what I'm trying to do is appeal to this audience and kind of, unshackle them, so to speak, and give them, some courage and some momentum and some energy.
Excellent. We're talking about a group of guys out there probably that they're used to an industry of criticism, possibly some frustration when they're out in the field. Is that something they're kind of used to, and is this kind of a breath of fresh air for them?
I really hope it is a breath of fresh air, and I feel like, they are sort of pigeonholed, and there are some stigmas, that developers are these quiet, kind of placid people, when in point of fact, developers make a lot of money. They're starting to gain income faster than lawyers, faster than doctors, faster than any other industry, and we rely on programmers every day. I mean, I think everybody probably has opened a web page or an app today, whereas how many people have talked to their lawyer or doctor today? So I think that developers have a pretty profound touch on life as we know it today.
Absolutely. I mean, they're pretty much involved in everything. I mean, the people do, be it business or personal lives. Share with me one of the designs here that basically maybe a designer would only understand and the regular public may not. Okay,
sure, absolutely. So this right here is one of my personal favorites, Code to Sleep. And so this is a design that only the tried and true programmer is going to really understand, right? This is when, something blew up in production, and it's critical to the business. Hey, I know that you're not going to get any sleep tonight, but the show must go on. And so everybody else has gone home. The programmer is up, wee hours coding away, and that's kind of what this design is all about. So I've been there, and I'm sure other people have as well.
That is fantastic. Share with me, do we still have the original design? What was the first design? Do you remember that one that you actually pumped out?
This was one of the very early ones, as a matter of fact. Warning, programming code ahead. And this is a design that, again, I think it has, depending on whether or not you're kind of on the inside, right, some sort of an inside appeal, because you have to be good to be a programmer. You have to have some skills. There are many times that people that aren't adept at programming are forced into, hey, can you work on this or whatever. And so believe it or not, this is something that I've actually seen in documentation, in my day-to-day. Warning, programming code ahead. It's like, hello, I hope there's programming code ahead. That's what we're doing here. you know?
That is excellent. Obviously, one of the reasons we came out here is we wanted to help spread the word out there. It's a brand new startup, 2015, but I imagine already you probably got some response. Tell me what the reaction has been when people see some of these shirts.
Absolutely. You know, this shirt today, the one that I have on, the Colorado Coder design, I actually had someone reach out to me in a suit on the street. Hey, man, nice shirt, you know, so people are, you know, jumping out at me just on the street. I've got basically all the designs at home. I wear them, you know, myself. And so just to try and, you know, test the waters and so, you know, everything like that. And people are responding.
That is great. Obviously, the product is reflecting a certain community out there. What about the programmers themselves? Are some of them coming up with some ideas and kind of pushing some things your direction that make the light bulb go on as well?
Absolutely. You know, one of the things that has been brought to my attention, I did a pitch at New Tech, Denver New Tech last week, and one of the things that came up there is folks want to know, is there going to be some opportunity for community submitted designs? You know, and I've seen this on other websites as well. So, you know, it's just a matter of getting that ability in place. But I think that could be cool. You know, we could play with that crowdsourcing of, you know, somebody came up with an idea or 10 people came up with 10 ideas, cool. You know, and then just do the votes and say, you know, whichever design people like the most, let's crank that one out, you know.
Excellent. I mean, I also noticed here we've been talking about the guys, but geeks aren't gender specific. We're talking about women as well as guys. You have shirts for both. Is that right?
That's absolutely correct. So, you know, that's another stigma of the industry, and something that is changing rapidly is you're going to see more and more women in this industry. And so, you know, by all means, we're gender neutral. Like this shirt right here is a woman's shirt. You know, it's got our same Silicon Mountain design, and then this one here is another Coder, and this is another women's shirt. So we have styles for both men and women, and we also want to start, I mean, most of these designs are fairly gender neutral, sure. But we do want to, you know, also get in some designs that may be specific to women or specific to men.
That is very great. Obviously, you guys are jumping into the market here with T-shirts. What do you see in the future? We're talking about other products maybe going to be hitting the market.
Absolutely. So we're looking at long sleeve shirts, sweatshirts, coffee mugs, and laptop covers, all, you know, slated to come probably in 2016.
Excellent. Was this an idea that came about here in Denver, or have you always been from here?
You know, I moved to Denver about maybe 7 years ago. Job opportunity. Denver's been great, you know, just tons of opportunity, tons of, you know, obviously outdoor activities, skiing, mountain biking, martial arts. So just a great scene, and I decided to stay. And actually, this is where I came up with the idea in Denver.
So we're talking about the idea came about not in Silicon Valley, but like you say, Silicon Mountain right here in Colorado.
Absolutely, Silicon Mountain it is.
That is sweet. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. First of all, pretty clean website, pretty self-explanatory, but let me tell you what you're going to find on there. We're talking about men's shirts, women's shirts. These are designs that are basically one of a kind. You're not going to see these walking down the street. You're not going to pick them up at your big box store down there. So quite honestly, fill up your shopping cart there with a couple of them. I think this is a great idea for a gift. I mean, I couldn't think of for myself. I'm not a programmer, but right away I started thinking about my son who's getting into coding. I'm thinking about friends and stuff. This is going to be a cool thing to actually order for somebody. I imagine if you were a coder and got one of these, it'd be kind of neat.
Absolutely, you know, and like, as I said, I think these designs are a lot more exciting than the designs that you're going to find on Cafe Press or Zazzle. So, you know, these are, as you said, for programmers by programmers. So I think any programmer is going to appreciate that. And then the other thing too is look for designs focused on your region, your state, your city to come out as well.
What I like about it also is obviously you've got this target market that is programmers and that type of thing, but just the general public, a lot of them have some pretty good humor to them that you don't have to be a programmer to understand. I mean, that's when I was browsing through your selection, I thought there was quite a few things that I'd wear one of those. That's pretty cool. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, take a look at Nike. You know, I mean, you've got people walking all, obviously not athletes, you know, so, you know, I think there's a broader appeal, you know, 100%.
And like you said earlier, we discussed there's obviously perception out there when it comes to developers and programmers. And basically, you're creating something that's kind of exciting. And overall, I mean, the whole mission here is possibly changing that perception. Is that right?
Yes, we do. We're trying to incite a paradigm shift with this brand. You know, this is supposed to motivate the programmer and say, you know what, programming is cool. You know, because internally, inside their heads, every programmer is a rock star. And so this is something to enable that and a mechanism for them to broadcast that.
Excellent. Viewers, last time, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. Once again, you're going to see their website. On the website, you can take a look at some of the current designs they are. You can also check them out on Facebook as well. They'll keep you apprised of some of the new designs they got coming out. They'll let you know if they're giving away a few. You definitely want to be in the circle there as well. And remember, these are shirts that obviously are set up for programmers, but anybody really would look pretty sharp in some of these shirts here. We're talking about it's a great way to maybe throw a hint out there at the office as well.
Absolutely.
But regardless of what you get involved, they definitely want you to be a part of it. This is Gary Atensi with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.